In my dream, I saw a head, like from the neck up, just like laying inside a bed. The head was Biden. It was Biden's head, and just laying like in a bed, and the covers was kind of drawn back, and it was just like a sheet, laying on a sheet inside this room. It had like three side walls that you could set chairs around. They were people sitting in the chairs. Nancy Pelosi, Schumer, McConnell. There were others that was in the room that was sitting in the chairs. At the foot of the bed, there was a trunk, and there was a fishing net on top of the trunk. And it was kind of wadded, and there were fish and spiders inside this net, and they were trapped in the net. But the spiders was killing the fish. And then I looked, and in this same room there was a new press secretary that was there, and it was not Jen, the redheaded girl now. It was someone that I did not recognize. Everyone in the room had a yellow notepad and a red ink writing pen. They were taking down notes from the head that was in the bed that was talking. I took notice of the head, and I knew that there was no way that it could talk. I looked, and there was like a small hole. It was underneath the head, like you could look down, like there was a hole under there. You could look down like under the head, and there was a hole there that you could see up through. And there were 3 people underneath the bed. I knew because they was moving, one head would look up and another head, and I just knew who they were in the dream. It was Obama, Kamala Harris, and there was another man, I don't know who he was. He was an older man. I didn't know who he was, don't recognize who he was. They would each look through the hole in the bed, looking out one at a time. Nancy made a statement to the press secretary. You have the wrong pen. You can't use that one. It will give way at what we are doing. The older man under the bed was doing something that made it look like Biden was talking. And I was wondering why come other people could not see that this was stupid, it was a lie. That a dead man with his head missing cannot talk. Obama was on the telephone that looked like some kind of very strange, some kind of satellite telephone, something, and its calls could not be traced. Obama was talking to someone in Iran. There were other people at this phone call, like some kind of conference call. Italy, the Roman Catholic Church, a bishop, and someone from Russia, China, and Korea. Nancy and the older one in the room was taking orders from this triage, hiding under the bed. They were planning a food shortage, and the plan was to deliberately sabotage the food industries to make it look crazy. Their plan was a pushback against the leaders of America, and that was the patriots. You could sense there was something that did not go right. You could sense that they were pushing even harder to try to finish the job that was started. There was enormous amounts of money coming through the Catholic Church of Rome, and Europe and Great Britain had ties to the wealth. I'd then seen a big hole in the ocean's floor near Italy's coast. It was swirling downward like a drain in your tub would. that's when I heard a voice speaking from the heavens, saying that hell has enlarged itself. I knew that soon the forces of the waters was going to break the plans of the man-made destruction. The voice said that they will fall. They will fall. Surely they will fall. There were also ships I saw in this dream on the coast that was full of people coming from a harbor in China. All the things that was happening was to force a collapse of America because it stood in the way of the wealth of some that came by evil dealings and slavery of the children and of people. I knew that Kamala was acting out orders from like a European council of some kind of wealth circle of the world. They were a very powerful people. I knew they were connected to the theft of America. I was troubled by all I was seeing. I had a hard time believing that these people could be so cruel and evil just for the gain of wealth. I began to cry and weep in my dream as I was seeing these things that was being done to try and guarantee the success of the theft of America. I could not believe the things that I was seeing, that they could do so heartlessly to people, to take their jobs, to take their lands, to take everything their dreams had owned, take lives, destroy everything that for hundreds of years blood has been shed for. I then seen an angel stand up out of the sea and had a sword in his hand. He took the sword and rammed it downward in the earth through the ocean like. And it went all the way through the earth. And he spake and he said, I have been sent to watch over his word. And now the reaping of the evil that was sown will take down the strong. In the dream, I went back into the bedroom where I started the dream from. The people that was in there was a big puddle of water underneath the chairs, like they had melted in the floor. They had totally been eliminated. It was not there no more. And I walked out the room, down a hallway, and walked out on like a balcony. And it was totally like dark. When you looked out, it looked dark and dry, and it just looked so depressing. There was no life, no color, just so bad of a place, as we looked out in front. And then out in the front side, as you keep looking out, I could see the tip of the sword that, the angels jabbed it through the earth, and it went all the way through it. And you could see it. It's like I was on the other side then of where the sword came through, and it was sticking up above the land through the earth. And I could see that. And that sword of the angel piercing all the way through the land, it changed everything. The color of the land changed. The grass was green. It was not dried no more.